Steve Sheldon inviting you to join us Sundays from 3 to 5 for 2 great hours filled with celebrity interviews, fun, laughter, fabulous music, surprises like Gay Cow from Dairy Queen, and very importantly, comps, dinners, shows, cruises, lots of fun. Steve Sheldon. Dear God, please make sure that our many friends who listen to the Steve Sheldon Show turn off their cell phones, extinguish their cigarettes. If they're wearing kilts, make sure they're down. And please, no taking of pictures as the bright, flashy lights do affect my eyes, and then I cannot read my ad-libs that I'm about to do. Thank you, God. Amen. All my friends listening, please respond.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Y'all, get out of the swimming pool. If you've been driving, pull over right now. It's time for our favorite weekend talk show host, Steve Sheldon.
And talking about the Steve Sheldon Show, it's time to start.
Hello, everybody. How are y'all? This is yours truly, Alan Freed. Get your dancing shoes on, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Dance Party.
Tiddly-yop.
Oh, this is Jack,
And I'm back on scene
with the record machine saying,
Bop-a-choo.
how do you do?
This meeting of the Swingin' Soiree is now in session.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Wolfman Jack.
We on the air. Oh, I tell you, baby, my audience deserves the very best. And New York City, we gonna lay it down.
Wait a minute. This is not Alan Freed, and this is not Wolfman Jack. Just a second. We're not Murray the K. We're not Jocko. We are the Steve Sheldon Show. So let us get the proper intro.
It's here, Living Radio. It's here, Living Radio. Living Radio offers you sounds to live by. News as it happens is living news. Sports come alive, so listen and get the facts of life.
It's entertaining,
Enlightening,
exciting,
exhilarating. Live with WKBW's Big Beyond the Show.
Boys and girls at home in all our peanut galleries, let's go! It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. Bob Smith and howdy do. Say howdy do to you. Let's give a rousing cheer, 'cause howdy doody's here. It's time to start the show. So kids, let's go!
Okay, this is not the Beyond Show. This is the Steve Sheldon Show. So could we please, let's try it again. My good friend, let's have this intro one more time for the Steve Sheldon Show.
Gather round, everybody. We are about to hear. This is a show that's gonna make you smile from ear to ear. It's Ronnie Ginsberg on the 9 Train Show. He plays the old and new, the swinging and the blue. He plays all the records, especially for you. It's Ronnie Ginsberg on the 9 Train Show. So come on, honey, let's go.
Now, I had a wonderful hypnotist, and I booked him. I live here now in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I booked him in Utah. And this was at a party, and let me say, there was no liquor at this party. No liquor whatsoever. But I was there. I'm single. It was before the show. And I looked at the end of the facility, and I saw a magnificent-looking lady. And my whole body started to vibrate. And she was looking at me. And I was looking at her. And I felt like I was a teenager again, because I got nervous. My mouth started to get very, very dry, like it's getting now. And I started walking to her. And she started walking to me. And as time went on and we got closer and closer, my mouth got drier and drier because there was just such great chemistry. And I picked up a cup and I filled it. And I remember the first thing this beautiful lady said to me.
You beat me to the punch that time. You beat me to the punch.
Yours truly, Steve Sheldon. And I would like to share something with you, my dear friends. I grew up with the oldies when they were newies. My late and great friend, Doc Palmas, may he rest in peace, wrote, oh, God, one time he had 17 of the top songs on Cashbox and Billboard. And you know, Doc said to me once, I'm not really Gershwin. And I said, Doc, you're the Gershwin of this time. I mean, but what really, really made the recipe of high ratings. Now, we do play Annie or Arnie Ginsberg, Woo Ginsberg. He had Personality Plus. He was out of Boston. We also play out of Chicago, Dick Biondi. In New York, there was my favorite, Alan Freed, who talked as he hit a telephone book with a frog in his throat. And I would go, hi, everybody, yours truly, Alan Freed on 1010 Wins in New York. Mel Leeds was the great program director. And we had a disc jockey named Jocko. And you'd hear him start with, it was called Jocko's Rocket Ship Show. And it was out of New York City. And Jocko would start his show like he's in a rocket ship, and you hear, away up here in the stratosphere, I gotta holla mighty, loud and clear. Eat tiddlyack. Oh, this is the Jock, and I'm back on the scene with the record machine. Correct time now is 9:18. Mama, you and Daddy, you, are you ready for your race with your space from outer space and race and whatever? And they had a sponsor. And the sponsors were something like Thunderbird. It was a wine. What's the price? 30 twice. Very nice. Or they had a Muscatello, whatever. And now, there's not one New York radio station with an oldies format. And the other stations that remain with oldies aren't making it rating-wise. Why? They don't realize, they don't get it, the people that in charge, that there was a combination of the personality disc jockey like Alan Freed and Jocko and Arnie Ginsberg and Art LeBeau in California, Dick Biondi in Chicago, that made, it just fit together. It was a great, great blend. And one disc jockey that could have been the biggest star in the world, because he was great, almost as great as Alan Freed, rest his soul, and the others I mentioned. But he had one problem. See, a lot of people think about AA, and when it comes to alcohol, and they think that everybody that has a problem with alcohol, they think of a vodka, or scotch, or booze. I mean, alcohol, rye, rum, whatever. But this one person, I believe he was an alcoholic, very good guy, great talent. He had an addiction to wine. And one time by mistake, I recorded something between he and his wife. In fact, my close friends listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. I'd like to share this great disc jockey that had a wine problem conversation with his wife.
My wife got tired of me running round, so she tried to keep me home. Well, she broke my nose and hid my clothes, but I continued to roam. Then she finally hit my weak spot, threatened to throw my bottle out. Well, from the basement to the rooftop, everybody could hear me shout, give me that wine, oh, give me that wine, yeah, give me that wine, 'cause I can't cut loose without my juice. I got to have hot Lucy when I go walking, you know. Well, one day while crossing the avenue, a big car knocked me down while I was stretched out tying up traffic, and crowds came for blocks around. Now the police were searching my pockets before they sent me to the funeral parlor. But when one of them cops took my bottle jack, I jumped straight up and commenced to holler, give me that wine, oh, give me that wine, give me that wine, 'cause I can't get well without muscatel. I only drink for medicinal purposes anyway. Well, now one real dark and dreary night as I was staggering home to bed, Well, the bandit jumped from the shadows and put a blackjack side my head. That cat took my watch, my ring, my money, and I didn't make a sound. But when he reached and got my bottle, you could hear me for blocks around. Give me that wine, oh, give me that wine, give me that wine. Beat my head out of shape, but leave my grape. Watch, ring, and money ain't nothing, don't mess with my wine, Jim. Well, one day my house caught fire while I was laying down sleeping off a nap. And when I woke up, everything was burning with a pop and a crackle and a snap. Now the fireman chopped up my TV set and tore my apartment apart. But when he raised his axe to my bottle, I screamed with all my heart. Give me that wine, oh, give me that wine, give me that wine, so I can drink one toast before I roast. No sense in going out half-baked, might as well be all tore up. You can take all those Hollywood glamour girls, Lana Turner, Rita Hayworth, Brigitte Bardot, and Lucille Ball, and all them chicks and line them upside the wall. Put a gigantic jug beside them and tell me to take my choice. Well, there'd be no doubt which one I chose the minute I raise my voice. Give me that wine. Oh, well, those chicks look fine, but I love my wine. Now, some folks like money, some like to dance and dine, but I'll be happy if you give me that wine. Give me that wine.
Unhand that bottle.
For the quality of the sound of the programs here at this great station, we are in an enclosed studio, top-notch, top-flight studio. There are no windows. So what I'm going to have to do is give us a weather forecast.
Big weather's here on WKBW.
Okay, here it is, direct from Action Central and the nice cold hands of Rudy Poangeli. The weather for Buffalo and vicinity. Colder with snow flurries or brief snow squalls likely tonight. Low 0 to 5 above, changeable skies, chance of more snow flurries, and cold tomorrow. High 15 to 20.
That's funny, snow. Here it rains. Here's a beautiful looking young lady. Let me ask you a question. What do you think about the rain?
I can't stand the rain against my window, 'cause he ain't here with me. Hey, window pane, tell me, do you remember how sweet it used to be? When we were together, everything was so grand. Now that we're parted, it's just the one sound that I just can't stand. I can't stand the rain against my window.
Okay, what do you say we give credit where credit is due? Okay, that's the chart burner, Miss Tina Turner. Tina, thank you for your input on the rain. Tina Turner, the chart burner. Have mercy. You're listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon, right here this Sunday afternoon. And as I told all of you, my dear, close, sweet, loving, caring friends, last week, we have the wonderful Angela Nelson gracing our microphones today, and she is the head of outdoor promotions. And I know wherever you go, I mean, unless Forrest is sitting there because he's so tall, you will see on every bench sign, every bench stop, you will see these great, great signs. And this is from Outdoor Promotions. So we are going to have Angela Nelson in this hour and the following hour, as we mentioned last week. And we're very excited about that because everybody's interested in marketing. Unless you're from Boston, then it's called marketing. That's right. So here it is Sunday, and I just played Tina Turner, who was married to a lowlife named Ike, who used to be a president, so that's how we tie all this stuff in politically. Now, you know what I can't figure out? This election thing, I look forward to the day that it's over. It is getting so damn boring. Do you think so, Susan?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And who just walked into the studio now? We have a major cast.
Gay Cow!
Direct from the Dairy Queen, here's Gay Cow. How are you, Gay? Okay. Very, very well. Okay. So I'm just thinking about the elections. They'll be over soon, and how stupid terminology becomes, because when we're accustomed to something, it becomes second nature. Take food, for example. What kind of name could be more stupid and unbelievable than bird's eye? Who the hell would want to eat a bird's eye? Nobody! Nobody! Including you, gay cow. Okay. But now we accept it. We accept that bird's eye. Eat bird's eye. Spinach, eat bird's eye. Black-eyed peas, eat bird's eye. Okay, we accept that. Now, here's the dumbest thing in politics. My close friends listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. We take so many things for granted. We're conditioned to it, like bird's eye. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, was known as Honest Abe. Politically, I do believe, now that I'm thinking about it, he said the most dishonest thing in the history of politics. When he said it, he wasn't lying. He thought it would come to pass. What was that, you ask? Okay. The Gettysburg Address, when Abraham Lincoln started by saying, "The world will little remember what is said here today." He said it was the truth. However, it's become required reading from South Carolina to Tennessee to New York to anywhere in the United States of America. Okay. Now with Abraham Lincoln, I tell you, with words, how you take things for granted. I realize how ridiculous it is. This great president, the late and great John Kennedy, rest his souls, was killed. I'm not going to clean it up by saying assassinated. The man was killed. Where? In the theater. Where in the theater was he killed? Well, because the president. Where would he be sitting? In the booth. Who killed President Lincoln? John Wilkes Booth. Wouldn't you think 150 years later we could have a better name in a place to vote than a voting booth? Why the hell would they call it booth? President Lincoln was shot in a booth by John Wilkes Booth. Why did they come up with the name booth? It's just about as bad as bird's eye politically to food. Okay. So thankfully the elections will be over soon and we can get back to the usual boring television. It's good to be here today. And I want to thank you for all of your emails. And the email address that you can reach us at is stevesheldon@webtv.net. stevesheldon@webtv.net. And I have some good news for you. We are constructing our website. It should be done within a few days. And that is SteveSheldonShow.com. And you have like 100 hours of entertainment free. No cover, no minimum, nothing. So please, downstream, upstream, any stream, smartphones, unless you're from Boston, it'll be smartphones, iPhones, Blackberries, Blueberries, Strawberries, Android phones. You can just download us on SteveSheldonShow.com. And as always, we take your calls now. 702-685-9873, 702-685-9873. Now, I got some good news for y'all. What am I saying y'all for? I think it's infectious. See, Angela Nelson's here today, and she all's from the South. I mean, when we speak to her and you hear a magnificent feminine voice, you will not say, Steve's kidding. She's from Brooklyn. Never, never, never. It doesn't come out that way. So, we were talking about, yes, here's the news. This is Sunday at 3. And we have a lot of you that we really love, and we're not going to abandon you. The station here that you're listening to has been sold. It was sold a few weeks ago. And I'm happy to say, see, that's the thing you learned at Tom Cruise. What's the into Scientology? You're not supposed to say but. I'm not talking to somebody's rear end, but you're supposed to say and. So I'm not saying the station was sold, but I'm very happy to say that starting the first Sunday in November, Fridays, thank you, Susan. Starting Fridays in November, you're going to hear yours truly, Steve Sheldon, on KDWN, 790 on your radio. 720. See that? That's our new. See, I was telling Angela Nelson before, God bless her, about coming in, in this kind of weather and the change of seasons, as busy as she is. It's 9:20. See, I don't have any script here, and I was always bad at math. So, I was saying, you make the mistakes, you keep going. Okay, so it's going to be 7:20 a.m., and what I love about 7:20 a.m., Fridays at midnight, it's 50,000 watts. Watts, that's what's new. We're going to be on 50,000 watts, 7:20 a.m. Each and every Friday will come your way at midnight. And we're very excited about this because I know a lot of you sometimes can't hear the whole show, or you're going to watch football. But here at midnight, there's so many people driving, going to shows, coming from shows, getting off work. There are 3 shifts here in Las Vegas and Henderson, which I refer to fondly as the dirt capital of the world. I've never seen more dirt anywhere than here in Las Vegas. Amazing. And people live here in Las Vegas, Nevada, because it's so close to culture. See, anytime you have a city like New York, where there's culture, the rates to live, to eat, is exorbitant. Where's the culture? In Nevada? Where else? Where do they have all the museums? Okay, all the art galleries. Here, not here in Las Vegas, no. But Las Vegas is the gateway to Pahrump. That's why people commute to Pahrump, to have their ranch dressing, or Caesar salad, chicken ranch, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's 720 on your radio, 7:20 a.m. each and every Friday, starting the first Friday in November at midnight. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Like my dear friend Tony Orlando, he's coming into the South Point. Now, he's going to be appearing, I believe, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I have it somewhere here. I will let you know later. Okay, but when we have somebody, when we're on as we are now, and we're going to be on till each and for the next 3 weeks, so don't go away from this station. It's not fair to have somebody that's going to be doing a show Saturday night and air them on Sunday, because they work hard. They don't get paid to come on the show. They come on because it's proven that our show, and I say this with pride, not ego, will get you to go, because I've never lied. I would never take on a sponsor for any amount of money, and that's the truth, unless I believed in them. And I would never recommend that you spend 1 cent or $100 or whatever it is to see a show that I didn't know you'd love. Tony and I go back. I booked Tony, I think when I was 16, back in New York. I was in 1650 Broadway on the 6th floor, and Tony was down with Bobby Darin and Carole King in Alden Music, which is Alden. It's Al Nevins and Donnie Kirshner, who produced Midnight Special for many years. And they were churning out songs. They had little cubicles with pianos. And Tony, way before he was with Dawn, the group, he loved Bobby Darin. Bobby would come up there too. May he rest in peace. I miss Bobby Darin. He was great. And Tony puts on a show. I think he's the best performer working in a showroom. Just great. Now, all of you, when we had Little Anthony here recently, and Rich Little and whoever the stars that we have called and written and commented and emailed how much you enjoyed him. So I know you love Tony Orlando. But I wouldn't ask Tony, no matter how many years we go back, no matter how many times I booked him, when he needed it before he had a record or anything, why should he come on Sunday when his performances are over? We have Angela Nelson today. She's good 24/7, because anytime you're driving down, and I'm going to find out all the locations we put Angela on the air, you will see these wonderful signs. And we do have very good public transportation and plenty of buses that run very frequently. I mean, compared to L.A., when I first moved to Los Angeles, California, I couldn't believe it. Every single I'm going to say this for Angela, because she's in the studio today. God love her. And I appreciate her coming out. I've been trying to get her for so many months. Right, Susan?
Yes.
Yes. So, what I was saying is, in California, it was amazing. It took so long between buses. and they had a few bus stops. They all had the same sponsor. I think Angela, if she's listening before she comes on the air, will like this. Grauman's Mortuary. Every bus stop in L.A., now that I think of it, I'm going back decades, had the same sign. Grauman's Mortuary. And now I know the reason why. You know why? Because the buses ran so infrequently in Los Angeles, you could drop dead waiting for a bus. And they figured, boom, there's the right place at the right sign. And we're going to be asking Angela Nelson all about the signs and how she got into it, her feeling of advertising, who should, who shouldn't. I know one thing sincerely, that, and I mentioned this, and I'm mentioning it today because Angela is here. I mention it because I mentioned it many times. Many of you listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon, will testify that you first heard of the show on the signs of outdoor advertising on all these bus stops, as well as the wonderful electronic signs on Las Vegas Boulevard. So I know personally it works. I also talk about the Las Vegas Israelite in the 48th year, who advertises everyone from the San Gennaro feast to a discount on pizza. It's all encompassing. It's not for any sect or any age or any religion. No. They started with us too at the same time. And that's who I really owe everything to. Yeah, we have like the Henderson Press came in. They're fine. Not great? Fine. Okay. This is called Honesty in Radio and the Life. Also, we have, what's the other one? Oh, yes, the Vegas Voice. I like the Vegas Voice. So far, I guess it's good. I mean, we have a column now. They're a monthly. They come out. But with when you see these signs, you're seeing them 24/7. And I'm going to tell you something, and this is really true. I have never been to the club. I would have never gone to the Club Fortune in Henderson, Nevada. If it wasn't the warrant, I was never very good in grammar or grandpa. But it's amazing. When I was a kid in New York, on my mother's side and my father's side, all my grandparents had the same name, Grandma and Grandpa. So oh, come on, it's not that funny. Now, but I'm saying, we were on the way to a place called Joker's Wild. Joker's Wild has the worst marquee in the world. I mentioned this on the air a few weeks ago. They changed it. They really had this. Breakfast special, 99 cents. Mondays only between 6 and 7 a.m. Now, how ludicrous is that? It is so stupid to advertise 1 hour a week on an entire marquee, and I can't make this up. So they changed it. I'm not taking any credit for it. Now they have Sunday football. That's 5 hours out of the 24/7 town. But when you come down to the outdoor promotions, this really happened. I'm pulling in to Joker's Wild. I've been going there frequently. I know some of the people that work there. And I see Club Fortune. Where? On the bus stop sign. I said, why not? They're not giving away anything. They don't have any loose machines here at the Joker's Wild. They don't have any people playing them. And I also was coming out of Broadacres one time in North Las Vegas, and I passed sign after sign after sign. And that was it. My word to you, I cannot make this up. I was literally pulling into Joker's Wild. I had my card, which Bostonians say, New England people say CAD. I had my card. I said, wait, I've got to try this, because the way Angela Nelson is so brilliant, the way she set it up, the mileage she has going from point to point. It's almost like the old days when you had those Burma shave signs. Those shaving signs, yeah, especially down south. Or up in Reno, Harold's Club or Bust, you saw a covered wagon. Harold's Club or Bust. So I literally can tell you that the most effective way of advertising, gosh, I know it's working for us and has worked for us since, I believe it's the spring, April or May. Because I really, and I cannot make this up, said, no, the hell with Joker's Wild. I want to try the Club Fortune. I never even would have known about it. I didn't see it on television. I didn't hear it on the radio. What's the other medium? Newspapers. I saw the signs from all over. And as I was pulling into Joker's Wild, there was a sign on the bench. I said, let's try it. And you know what? I have not been back to Joker's Wild since. There's no need to it. Because I truly believe, and not because we with Angela Nelson and outdoor promotions for advertising as part of our advertising. I mean, I truly believe that Angela has very discriminatory taste, and I don't think she would take anybody. I mean, who would think here that I would learn about a place, and I'm from the East Coast, that sells crabs? In Florida, where I lived, you saw that. Okay? When my late friend Jackie Winston, may rest in peace, who I loved, we went to a very fine seafood restaurant. I remember going to, on top of that, once with Barbara Streisand when she was married to Elliot, and the Cold Water Flat. And yeah, so we sat and we looked, and there was a sign: the fish you eat here today slept last night in Chesapeake Bay. And Jackie and I were good friends. We just looked at each other, smiled, left a tip. For all you Nevadans, that's English for toke. And we left a tip on the table. We got in the car and just drove down to Baltimore. That's how Baltimore is pronounced for Baltimoreans. Baltimore. Okay. I haven't seen crabs here. I missed them in Florida, where I came from 3 years ago. Plenty. But on these bench signs, there's a place all over advertising the crabs. And that I found on the bench signs. So I'm delighted that Angela will be on within a couple of minutes. We're going to take a short pause for the cause. See, the board up's getting nervous. There's no rush here. I've made a lot of mistakes already, but everybody's still listening. Okay? So we'll find something for Al to do, and then we're going to have Angela Nelson. I just want to say to all of you, please, you sir, in the car, put out the damn cigarette, okay? My voice is raspy enough, okay? There's only 3 conditions. You don't pay for the show. So please, there's no cover, there's no minimum. You're my guest, so treat me nicely. No cell phones. Please turn off your cell phones. Please, you in the car there. Wait till a commercial if you have to. I'd rather you listen to the commercial. But just put out your cigarette, okay? And please, no photographs because, the flashing in my eyes. I can't read my ad-libs that I've rehearsed all week. Okay, this is Steve Sheldon. We're going to come back with Angela Nelson from Outdoor Advertising very shortly. Yours truly, Steve Sheldon. I've got to tell you something, my dear friends. We get emails, and we welcome them at stevesheldon@webtv.net. That is Steve Sheldon at webtv.net. From all over the world. And I've been getting a few negative feedbacks that I would like to apologize for and see if I can make up for it. I'm going to make up for it. I play people from the islands with Bob Marley. I'll play James Brown. I'll play Al Jolson. I'll do Sir Harry Lauder from Scotland. Worldwide people I do. But I never did anything by any French entertainer. And I'll tell you, it's not that I have anything against the French people. I have lots of friends that have, I guess, from France or parents. The reason being, I only know one French entertainer. And he was very, very famous. It was Maurice Chevalier. And I don't play him for one reason. I'm a very liberal man. I've been in show business my entire life. I'm still in show business. But there's one thing that I hate, as liberal as I may be. I can't stand pedophiles. And I figure that the late and very talented Maurice Chevalier must have had to be a pedophile. Why, you ask? What other man at his age, 61 years old, would record, "Thank Heaven for Little Girls"? I get complaints sometimes that I overlook certain people. I've been getting a lot of complaints from the French-American community here. And after all, they say I mentioned Dr. Salk and all these other people. I've never once mentioned anybody from France. And France, they said to me, has made such great contributions. And I'm thinking to myself, when I mentioned Dr. Salk, he discovered the vaccination that prevents polio. He saved millions of lives. But wanted to give the French people, including all of you that are listening that may have French heritage, you're Americans to me, decent, the fact that you're listening. I'm trying to think, what did really the French come up with that would be the most noteworthy? The Eiffel Tower? Not really. I got it. They came up, they invented, they created, they discovered a way to improve toilet paper. It's called a bidet. That's French's French claim to fame. So all my people that are originally from France or have ancestors there, you know this is a show made up with humor. And I mention this because the only thing I ever learned how to do in French was sing a song. We used to sing this in the Bronx and all the 5 boroughs. I'm sure everywhere, wherever you're from in the United States and wherever you're listening worldwide, because we do have a lot of people listening to us on the internet at 970knuu.com. We only knew one song in French, and that was a better contribution to me, and you probably agree with me, than the bidet. What was it? Frere Jacques. And ironically enough, my close friends listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon, the other day, I was in a doctor's office. I overheard a phone conversation. And it sounded so much to me like Frere Jacques. I want to get your opinion. It was kind of a cute little an entertaining phone conversation that I would like to share with you right now.
Hello? Is this 418-9749?
Speaking.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Sarah Jockman, how's by you? How's by you? How's by you the family? How's your sister Emily?
She's nice too.
She's nice too.
Jerry Bachman, so what's new? So what's new?
What you doing, Sarah?
Reading John O'Hara.
He's nice too.
He's nice too.
Sarah Jockman, how's by you? How's by you? How's your brother Bernie?
He's a big attorney.
How's your sister Doris?
Still with William Morris.
How's your cousin Shirley?
She got married early.
How's her daughter Esther?
Skipped a whole semester.
How's your brother Bentley?
Feeling better mentally.
How's your cousin Ida?
She's a freedom rider.
What's with Uncle Sidney?
They took out a kidney.
How's your sister Norma?
She's a nonconformer.
How's your cousin Lena?
Moved to Pasadena.
How's your Uncle Nathan?
Him I got no faith in.
I ain't heard from Sonia.
I'll get her to phone ya.
How's her daughter Rita?
A regular Lolita.
How's your cousin Manny?
Signed up with Victani.
How's your nephew Seymour?
Seymour joined the Peace Corps.
He's nice too. He's nice too. Sarah Jockman, how's by you? How's by you? Give regards to High now. Gotta say goodbye now.
Give regards to Mo now. Well, I gotta go now. Toodaloo, toodaloo, toodaloo.
Alrighty, you're back with yours truly. And we are, as we announced, very excited to welcome to our microphones the very gifted, beautiful. I wish it was TV. This lady is gorgeous. She's got a dimple, smiling, dressed magnificently, beautiful manicure. And her name is Angela Nelson. Welcome to our show.
Thanks, Steve. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And I'm thrilled that you finally made it, and you're worth waiting for. I was telling everybody that we have different forms of advertising, and I say that you are the 24/7, which is very rare to see. I picked up the local paper today. I glanced through it, gone. I won't see it again.
Right.
But I know anywhere I go, be it shopping, to a show today, to a restaurant after the show tonight, to a casino, anywhere, I will see. How many signs do you have here? Just in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas alone, we have 3,600 what we call curbside billboards or bus stop shelter advertising throughout the valley. So pretty much throughout the whole entire valley, and including Laughlin, North Las Vegas, Green Valley, Henderson, Summerlin. So we're all over.
Right. In fact, I saw your ads for the Avi Hotel, which I think is very wise for them because I mentioned about the Club Fortune. I never would have gone there if it wasn't for the bench sign.
They do. They like to promote their different kinds of events that are going on and some of the promotions that they have within the hotel. I have to interject, though, Steve. You were saying earlier that I'm available 24/7. I just want to make clear so your listeners might not get the right idea, and they might think that I'm something that I'm not. I'm not that kind of available 24/7. Just the signs themselves are.
Funny.
So I just wanted to clarify.
No, I meant the signage is available 24/7.
Yeah.
The signs, which is great.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, I'm not. It's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So who came up with this great concept?
So basically, what happened was we purchased the billboards from the bus stop shelters from a larger company about 6 years ago. Got the campaign with the Regional Transportation Commission. Basically what we do, Steve, is we not only provide advertising on the bus stop shelters, but we also provide a service to the community, and that is that we clean and maintain the bus stop shelters so that the community can stay clean. That's part of our contract with the RTC. So we have a big job out there, and the way that we subsidize the cleaning and maintenance of the shelters is through advertising, which is basically our core business.
Sure.
So what we do is we find local businesses, and we use national businesses as well. We work a lot with national businesses to just promote different events, products, services that are available to the Valley. And one of the things that's great about this medium in particular, as opposed to newspaper or even radio or TV, and I'm not going to slam your medium.
Please do.
My degree's in broadcast journalism, and I worked in
which school?
University of South Carolina. Y'all.
Hey,
y'all.
Okay, that's great.
And basically, so I'm a big fan of broadcast, but also I was in publishing for 20 years. Not just gave my age away. In publishing for 20 years.
No, because you look like 20. I wish our friends
It started yesterday.
Okay.
But anyway, so I've been in publishing for 20 years. But basically, when I moved over to this medium about 2.5 years ago, what I loved about it is that it's highly visible. It is 24/7. Not me personally, but the medium.
Right. That's what I was referring to. Okay.
Full color, lighted at night. Highly flexible. You can do different kinds of campaigns like the one you mentioned with Club Fortune, wherein they basically decided to go with a campaign all across the Valley where they would bring even people from the Northwest all the way down to the Henderson area, basically starting with like 25 miles out. We're just 25.4 miles.
I love that. That's so catchy.
And kind of this way. And they started with that campaign. I wish I could take the credit for it, but I can't. They had an agency that worked with them. And basically, they did this campaign where they were driving people from all across the Valley saying it's worth the drive, which was a great campaign. So we have a lot of good clients.
Which is also why I mentioned the Avi Hotel in Laughlin, because there's a strip in Laughlin called Casino Drive.
Right.
You don't pass the Avi, you pass all the others.
Right, it's off the beaten path.
Right. It's about 12 or 13 miles away. And I learned of the Avi, because I've been booking talent in Laughlin for many, many years when Laughlin was really hot.
Right.
Although Cosby's coming in, I spoke to him the other day. He'll be in for Thanksgiving in a few weeks. But one show, not 3 weeks like they used to do with an opening act. But times changed. We changed with them. But I learned that the Avi, as many people I guess did, because we're so used to going just to the hotels on Casino Center Drive. I didn't even know it existed.
Right.
But your signs made it happen.
It's fantastic. We actually work with a client here in Las Vegas that recently did another campaign, an add-on campaign in Laughlin. I don't know if anybody out there has seen the show Defending the Caveman. I think it's
it's a great show. It's
fantastic
a one-man show.
It's
He's absolutely
fantastic.
Great show.
And I guess they were doing a short run.
Being a theatrical agent my entire life, I can recommend this show. If it wasn't good, I wouldn't say anything. And if you'd like to know something about Broadway, the best site is playbill.com. So Defending the Caveman is a great show.
Fantastic. And they were doing a show. So they were running with us here on the Strip, because we didn't mention this, but on the Strip we have these digital billboards as well. So the ones that you see across the Valley and in Laughlin, those are static curbside billboards, just posters, ad panels on the bus stops. But we also have, going up and down the Strip, a digital network of 14 different screens where we can actually run full...
and you've got some major stores there.
Full motion video and sound. The traffic is amazing, but we can run full motion video and sound ads on the Strip for some of the casinos, entertainers, and those kinds of things. So that's a really good network too, because you're reaching not only tourists there but also locals.
Sure.
And if you aren't in the business of being on billboards or on marquees in the hotel, then you certainly can get some recognition for your events and shows on these where pedestrians and bus riders are passing every day.
You know, I could really vouch for what Angela is saying because we're on the Strip, and I've gotten very, very positive feedback.
Fantastic.
You know, and that's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So on their way home from work, there's about how many people?
Well, basically, the stats say for drive traffic that we're looking at about people travel in their cars these days. You know, most people don't stay at home much anymore. So
Right.
you're in their cars about 20 hours a day.
Oh.
They travel about, not 20 hours a day. Sorry about that, 20 hours a week. That would
Okay.
be a lot of hours in a car. But if you were on their radio, Steve, it would still be a long time.
Excuse me 1 second. This is what our show's about. We have no script. We talk. And as I said, you know, I make so many mistakes that I can get a pencil with 2 erasers. But where would the point be?
Right.
Okay.
But anyway, people are spending so much time in their cars. They travel, about 200 miles a week in their cars. So a lot of time spent in your car. And so basically what we're saying is the ads aren't basically for the bus riders, although they can be. That's certainly part of our audience.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, through the passing traffic, people are going on the same traffic patterns every day to and from work.
Right.
And so we a lot of times will like to target businesses based on who their audience is. Let's say you want to reach a Hispanic market, then we would put you on all of the shelters in the Hispanic zip codes, or they're primarily Hispanic in town. So we can target that way. And so you're basically hitting the same audience 24 hours a day as they are traveling back and forth to work, to their leisure
I believe you have a
activities.
Mexican or American supermarket.
Oh, we do. We have Mariana's. And we
yes.
also have Cardenas. We have been long time clients for both of us. And you mentioned Crab Corner earlier.
Yes, that's on. Now I know this for a fact. That's on Eastern and Flamingo.
It is.
Right.
It is.
And nobody passes that.
And like you said, and I'm from the South too. I'm from the coasts of South Carolina, so I'm used to having seafood and crab. And it's one of the few places that you can get actually fresh
Yes.
seafood at a reasonable price without.
And that's right next to
going on the
Mariana's.
strip. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, which when you say you can go into a certain area, is that similar to a Valpak? Or
It
the
can be. It can
Las
be.
Vegas Review-Journal?
It can be. And it's interesting that you mentioned those two medias, and also with TV and radio, I wasn't putting down the other mediums earlier.
No, of course
Certainly a value in advertising, and we are part of a great media mix. And so that if you are running on a radio, and so people are listening to it in the car and they hear a story about, let's say, a Mariana's, and then they're driving along and they see a Mariana's bus stop shelter ad, and then later when they get home, they see a coupon in the local newspaper for
Right.
Mariana's. And then you have 3 reliable sources of information driving you to their business. And so it's a great media mix for those kinds of folks who are just looking to get out there and really get the word out about who they are. Sorry, Steve, what was the question?
I don't remember, but I'm going to interject. You have a nice life. I'm going to interject that I am very pro all types of advertising. However, I know damn well that what you're saying is 100% correct, Angela, because Netflix is so popular in those red boxes where people get, they rent very inexpensively. I think it's Netflix like $8 a month or $16 a month. For
Yeah, and
unlimited.
Redbox is only $1. My kids love that. They drive me crazy with that.
Yeah, but nobody's ever seen any store, any casino, any restaurant while they're watching Netflix. And because TV to me is so bad, years ago, when nobody had any experience, what did you have? Black and white with unexperienced producers, directors, cameramen, and everything. To this day, the number one show is still a redheaded, which you couldn't tell it was black and white.
Right.
Lady, housewife, married to a Cuban bongo player. That's I Love Lucy. Okay, now every single minute, coming this September, coming this October, coming to brand new shows, which means the shows don't last.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think the films are becoming so very, very popular. The DVDs. And,
For sure.
Yeah.
Not only that, but people
And you cannot see Mariana's or the Avi we talked about in Laughlin, Nevada, or the Club Porch, or any. You can't see that while you're watching that.
Right.
But when you're driving, you could be listening to anything or anyone, or even not listening to the Steve Sheldon Show.
Highly unlikely.
No, thank you. And be hearing a CD or Sirius Radio, which I listen to.
Right.
Variety. But you'll always see those signs.
Yeah, it's one of the few mediums left where you can't turn it off, tune it out, turn the page.
That's very well put.
Trash it, so on and so forth. So, like you said, people's time are very limited. And I know, for one, at home, I don't watch TV at all. I just don't have time. Listen to the radio in the car, but I am a channel flipper, unfortunately, sometimes.
Great.
Because the kids don't like country, and I do.
You like country?
I do. Well, I'm from the South, Steve. Come on.
I understand. Listen, I'm very aware of country music. I have booked country stars. In fact, we had, I did as a favor, we had the bass man, with the long beard from the Oak Ridge Boys on here.
Oh, yeah.
Right
Fantastic. I can't think of his name right now, but
Richard.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I personally was very close with all the Mandrell sisters. Ray Stevens, Bobby Gentry, as to represent, who was married to Bill Harris, may he rest in peace. So I love country music. The first country song I think I ever heard was The Kid with Alan Freed, the man who made rock and roll popular. And I didn't know what the hell the music was, Angela. With the Everly Brothers.
Oh,
the dream
fantastic.
to me. I didn't know what it was.
And you mentioned the Mandrells. I grew up sitting on the floor on, I think it was Sunday nights, watching the Mandrells with my grandmother. It was just brings back a lot of memories.
Barbara
Hear you say that.
And
Erlene.
Erlene, that's
was
right.
Was
and
that
their
it?
dad was.
How did I just pull that out of nowhere?
You have a great memory. And their dad, Irby, who just passed, was their manager and did great for them. You couldn't find that. Dottie West, remember her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew her very well, and she was, the original. And my favorite, and I love Shania. She's coming to Caesars, but I think she took her whole thing. And I booked her years ago in Canada when she wore braces as a lounge act and did numbers like Over the Rainbow, the late Judy Garland classic. But the originator of a gorgeous-looking country was not Sarah Evans. It wasn't Shania. It was a very close friend of mine that I used to represent. Was her agent, Bobby Gentry.
Fabulous.
Remember her?
Yes.
Ode to Billy Joe. Yes. And she started first showing the midriff and the navel, and and she was a great, great talent. And she even recorded with Glenn Campbell, who's probably the best guitarist in country music. So, no, I like it. And wasn't that country, the Everly Brothers?
I think they did like a crossover.
Okay.
A mix.
Kenny Rogers did.
Kenny Rogers, for sure.
Yeah. Nice guy. What about Brenda Lee?
Brenda Lee, didn't really listen to a lot of Brenda Lee. I remember my grandmother listening to it, but it was not.
Was she country, though? She did rock and roll shows, yeah.
Certainly.
Because when I mentioned Alan Freed, may he rest in peace, he started rock and roll. On his show, he had Frank Atlanta, Tina, all these great rock stars, and, wisely, Patsy Cline.
Fantastic.
You must be a fan
of course.
Did you see Coal Miner's Daughter?
No, I didn't. Tell me.
The life story of Loretta Lynn.
Oh, no.
And she's coming here.
Coal Miner's Daughter. I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said. Of course.
I'm hosting a radio show, right?
Of course, what you said.
See, I had my nose fixed and my mouth doesn't work.
Or my ears are clogged.
I like that Southern drawl, y'all. And we're going to learn more about the wonderful world of advertising. And the way you put it, I even see more significance, even though what I say, I've been drawn, and we've stayed many times at the Abbey in Laughlin, gone to Club Fortune, who would not have been for those signs.
Well, we're glad to have your testimony.
And by the way, you may talk about Hispanic areas, but I like the fact that Mariana's last week had cucumbers 6 or 7 for $1.
Always love a bargain.
Yeah.
And they're probably more fresh than what you're going to get in a normal grocery store.
Yes. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I learned of that. And there by the crab corner. Right. So I think that your advertising, I know for us it's been working, and I thank you for it sincerely.
Great.
Yeah. Now, we're going to take a break for the news, and then we're going to come back. And I'm very happy to say that talking about advertising, this is being very, very enlightening. And I mentioned the Village Voice before because we're doing a column. And we have a nice quarter page there. But I don't know if they see it as many hours as you're seeing, but it's fine.
Sure, it serves a purpose.
Right. But I pick it up and I read it. I might keep it for a day or two. But the signs, the thing with signs, Al? Do you have that signs? You didn't put it down? Okay. That's all right. This is called Living Radio. I did a thing. Remember the song Signs?
No.
Okay, I'll play it for you. It's signs everywhere, a sign. I'm going to break now for the news, and then we're going to come back and we'll do a little bit and then bring Angela on because we're here now in the studio on this lovely Sunday. And just stay here for the news and more of Angela Nelson. Our great producer, Susan Stevens, is beckoning me, beckoning. What is it, Susan?
Steve, that woman is stalking again. She's on the phone, and I can't stand her. She will not
stalker?
stop. Yes, the stalker.
Okay, you know what? I'll take the call. Is that all right, John? Good. Okay, thank you, Susan. Yeah, before I take the call up, it's unbelievable. I don't know what, in show business this happens. Not to everybody, but to a lot of people, they get attracted to appearance, a voice, whatever. And, to be admired is great. To be stalked is kind of fearful. So listen, young lady, I have you on the phone, and I'd like to know, because, I see you when I come into the studio. I see you when I leave the studio. I think it's you. I can't accuse you, so I'll use the famous word, allegedly. But I have a feeling that you were even going as far as going to my residence last night. Is that true? Tell me.
I rode my bicycle past your window last night. I roller skated to your door at daylight. It almost seems like you're avoiding me. I'm okay alone, but you got something I need.
I have something that you need? Well, I'm really astounded. I have no idea of whatsoever. What can I possibly have?
You got a brand new key. I think that we should get together. Try 'em out, you see. I've been looking around a while. You got something for me. Oh, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I asked your mother if you were at home. She said yes, but you weren't alone. Sometimes I think that you're avoiding me. I'm okay alone, but you got something I need. Well, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I think that we should get together. Try 'em out, you see. I've been looking around a while. You got something for me. Oh, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I ride my bike, I roller skate. I don't drive no car. I don't go too fast, but I go pretty far. For somebody who don't drive, I've been all around the world. And some people say I've done all right for a girl. I got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you got a brand new key. Oh, yeah.
Sign, everywhere a sign. Blocking out to see and re-breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that. Can't you read the sign?
Yes, and you are listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon, on this Sunday afternoon. And we had signs, which I want to tell you something very interesting. This could go in the Guinness Book of World Records. You just heard the shortest overture in the history of show business. Signs everywhere a sign. That was it. 9 seconds. That was our overture. To bring back our special guest today, who I'm delighted is doing so well and so informative and encompassing about the advertising business. Welcome back, Angela Nelson of Outdoor Advertising. Angela, what else would you like to fill everybody in on? Because they find this fascinating, because advertising, they know what it's about. They can an ad can make you or break you.
It certainly can. I was looking back at when you were talking about some of the memorable campaigns of the past, and you were talking about in California, a campaign that
Grauman's
you remember.
Mortuary.
The Grauman's Mortuary. It kind of reminds me of a long time. It doesn't have anything to do with the mortuary or anybody dying, but it does back in The late 90s, early 2000. I don't know if you remember a restaurant here called the Rosewood Grill, but they had the giant lobster. It was down there on the Strip. But if you weren't around,
yes,
a lot
I
of Las Vegans remember. He was a tuxedoed guy, and he had the giant, I think like a 5 or 10 pound lobster. It was huge, and it hung down. And he was on our billboards forever. And that they finally went under, not because of us, just because of real estate on the Strip got very expensive. I think was the deal with that. But I just remember people, whenever I talk about, the bus stop shelter advertising, that's the thing that people remember the most. Still to this day, and it's, 12 years since we've had one of those up, I think it's been. Mm-hmm. And they still just say, oh, are those the ones with the guy with the lobster? Well, yeah, that was late 90s. But, yeah, that was the guy.
That's terrific, yeah. And, of course, it's not the fault of the signs, the advertising. There's a seafood place here that we passed on the way to the studio. Mm-hmm. That was like one of the top 5 local restaurants for forever.
What's that?
The Tillerman.
Oh, love the Tillerman.
Right,
yeah.
They closed.
I know.
And you know how bad it is here in the dirt capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada? Oh, God. Used to be the entertainment capital. Came back after Florida 3 years. All I saw were massage parlors.
They're everywhere.
I don't get it. Okay. But so far as the advertising is concerned, you do a very good job. We would have many of the people listening to us now, Angela, as listeners and repeat listeners, which is important.
It's
but with the Tillerman, they went out of business about a year ago because people bought it from California.
Right.
They didn't get Vegas. And now you saw the sign for sale. It's right down the street here.
Yes.
And now you see available. So, no, you do a great job for everybody out there advertising.
And the former owners, the DiMartinos of the Tillerman, great family owned and operated, and that was one of the, I think, the most important aspects of that business because they were located off strip. It was a little, off strip, and people had to travel to get there, especially tourists. But they always brought a crowd out there just because it was a family owned business and had that family atmosphere. I think when they sold and that went away, that was the demise of that business, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, as you said before, in the first part of the program, how you target different markets. Well, it's the same thing. You cannot have somebody move in from California, no matter how successful they are with a restaurant, unless they come here first and get a pulse, a feel for everything.
Right.
So the owners at the new Tillerman that went under
didn't do that.
No.
They didn't do that. You know what we do? We work with businesses, for instance, State Farm Insurance, one of our national clients. We do work with both local, everything from a small business such as a Crab Corner to large businesses like Geico and State Farm and you have it and have what have you. But basically, we can do things like we have a campaign with State Farm agents where we are actually targeting each individual office of the State Farm franchises here. So we can target within a half mile of each of their locations. So those are the kinds of things that we can do to drive traffic to their doors.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Have you sold before this?
I did. I was in publishing. I was in the tourism industry forever and did some national niche publications back in the day when I was really young. But yes, advertising is in my blood.
Mm-hmm. And do you find this an easier presentation? I don't want to use the word pitch. It's carny-like, but...
it's changed over the years. I think that this medium is an easier sell. It's not nearly as sexy as TV or radio or publishing for by any stretch of the imagination. It's bus stop shelters after all.
Right.
But I think it's an easier sell, and then it's more affordable, it's more effective, and it's out there 24/7, and people are seeing it. And so it's an easier pitch, especially for small business people.
And what's the smallest contract you'll sign length of time-wise?
We'll do a month. And that ranges anywhere from, $200 to $300 for a month. And that's for a very small business. They would just maybe wanting to be, if they do a grand opening, we do a grand opening out in front of their business and those kinds of things. So it's really affordable, and we can do $100,000 campaigns. We have, some lawyers out there who advertise with us year round, both here and in Salt Lake City, and they spend, over $100,000 with us. So it really is for every budget.
And it's not where you start, it's where you finish. You can get a small business today, and they can grow.
Absolutely.
As you grow with them. That's what it's really all about. It's
Absolutely.
Every major chain of restaurants, like a McDonald's, by an expression, or a Subway, they have one thing in common. Right now they have thousands of restaurants all over the world. But the one thing they have in common that's really important, each and every one started with one. So if somebody can get with you at that affordable price, in fact, more than affordable, I like to use the word cost-effective.
That's one of our catchphrases that we use as well. And the other thing that those all businesses have in common that you mentioned, McDonald's and Coke and Subway and those things, is that they stay out there even through tough economic times. They're staying out there, getting their message to people, reminding people that they're out there. My son asked me the other day, my 15-year-old said, "Hey, Mom, why does Coke still advertise?" And I said, "Babe, they still advertise because they still have to compete with Pepsi. And if they ever stop advertising, then Pepsi could come out and take over. So you have to keep your name out there and keep public awareness."
With Angela, you're very bright at this. Would you call that like a reminder ad?
We call it branding. It's brand reinforcement.
Okay, branding.
Branding and brand reinforcement.
Branding.
That's the gay cow.
Don't get scared. Yes, branding.
I'm learning, Steve.
You got a little nervous there. Yes.
I'm learning, Steve.
So in other words, you take people and give them a cost-effective way to promote their particular business.
We do.
Hmm? If somebody starts off with you for a month, what's the longest you've had?
We have campaigns that have been with us for probably 6 or 7 years, even before we took over this business here in Las Vegas.
From 1 month to 60 months or 72 months. That's great.
As long as you want.
No, that you're keeping that long. So
no,
that
absolutely.
shows positive results.
We do. We do have clients who have been with us for years, and we hold their spots year after year. We used to have 2-year contracts where we would just have an automatic renewal, but people would forget, and we don't want to put people in that situation, especially in these tough economic times. We want to make sure that they get exactly what they're looking for. And we're always out there servicing the accounts, making sure that they get their artwork changed, that the message gets changed, that we move things around if they want to, change locations so they can target a different audience for different events or different promotions that they have. So it's very flexible.
Mm-hmm. I think the Club Fortune seems to be getting busier. Well, we went to a station casino yesterday. They were empty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the lounge was closed, which I don't like because I'm a theatrical agent. I mean, it was all darkened and everything. The place was empty.
Maybe people are out of money.
Could be, and I think they're ridiculous. See, when you do a Club Fortune, I think they pay better because they don't have the cost of hotel rooms, movie theaters, the insurance that covers it, buffets, 7 restaurants. These places, like Caesar's Palace, which is my pet hotel here. I love it. They started out with 2 restaurants, a coffee shop called the Nasharayan, which at night they put a tablecloth on and served great steaks and Chinese, and the Bacchanal room.
Love the Bacchanal.
That was it. By the way, they just started a Bacchanal buffet there.
Oh, they
which
did.
I haven't tried
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See what happens when you get out of the tourism industry?
Sure. But that was a great thing. But now their stars are restaurants from all over. They have the Old Homestead from New York, established in 1820, a steakhouse. From Florida, they have Joe's Stone Crab, which is...
Love it.
You know Joe's?
Love it.
Yeah. What else? The Palm, naturally. They have Serendipity 3.
Right. I haven't been in there yet, but it looks interesting.
In New York, it's a lot better. Did you ever see the movie Serendipity?
I did not.
One Fine Day with George Clooney?
No.
Okay. These were all some of the films that were filmed at Serendipity 3.
Oh.
But I fly into New York. First place I go, Serendipity 3, which is near Bloomingdale's, and then walk over to the plaza and go to the Oak Bar. So it's all changed now. And these, I think, honestly, we're the Club Fortune. I think it had more people, per machine.
It's pure gaming too, and it's a great little casino, and they're sending the right message. That's part of this whole advertising plan too. Is that you need to make sure you're sending the right message through the right medium to the right audience. That's basically the key to any successful business promotion. Right message, right audience.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're showing in your advertising that not every type of business, even though they may be categorized in the yellow pages, Angela, is the same.
The yellow what? Who uses those anymore?
Okay.
We just asked Siri.
That's funny.
Or Susan.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
In other words, why would I go into one casino, see the sign for another, and go to the other? because you make us believe that it's better.
Right.
And those signs with the mileage is
Called branding.
Yeah, branding. Okay.
Branding.
Stop it. Let's wrap this up. How would you like, because I know you're giving us a lot of time, which we appreciate. We're talking to Angela Nelson from Outdoor Promotions. Should I give out the number of Outdoor Promotions that I do every week?
Yeah, you can call us directly at 932-4841.
4841.
Oh, I was giving you that's my direct line, Steve. You can do that too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. 4841 or 4848. No worries.
Okay. We should change this. Oh, you see what I did?
I can take the direct calls.
No. You know what's so interesting about this? What I've written down here, the print for me is small. So I enlarged it, and I messed up by one number. That's actually what happened about 4 months ago, Angela Nelson.
You're good. So 932-4848, Outdoor Promotions for Bus Stop Shelter Advertising.
Right, and Strip.
And Strip. Digital.
I'm sorry,
Correct.
but I want to add that because I get so many great responses.
Because your ad on the Strip.
And because I'm a theatrical agent and for so many years, a lot of the entertainers on the Strip, and they play here too, have commented on it. I mean, it's great. So, what can I say? Except, I think you have been an excellent guest, Angela Nelson. I thank you so much for coming down.
Appreciate you having me.
I mean, a lot of people, I wouldn't mention names. And I would never say anything derogatory about anybody if it would ever hurt them. But so I would never mention a name. But the worst guest I ever had was David Copperfield.
Name.
I mean, I made him disappear in 1 minute because every question was answered. Yes. No. No. Yes. Is he a magnificent illusionist? Yes. Any of you, all of you listening, if you'd like to see an illusion show, if you'd like to see an illusion show, I would recommend David. But as a guest, at best, he was mediocre.
Not the best on radio. More visual.
Right. In fact, I brought the first magic act here.
Who was that?
Very interesting. I was sitting with Dave Victorson. Since you go back, do you remember Caesars when they had Circus Maximus?
Yes.
Well, Dave and I became the closest of friends. He was the entertainment director and VP. And he's saying, Steve, I'm having a rough time. I don't know who the hell to put in front of Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim had Tiptoe at the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is all. He's a very nice guy. But he sings. He plays an instrument. He has a bunch of girls being choreographed by Bob Fosse, a very fine choreographer. And so people will laugh. They will hear an instrument. They hear him sing. I don't know what to put in. So I mentioned an illusion act, and he got angry. He said, come on. Don't take advantage of our friendship. I said, what are you talking about? We're not a circus. So I jokingly said, Dave, the name of the showroom is Circus Maximus. He said, you're talking about elephants and tigers and stuff disappearing in the showroom? Are you kidding? I said, Dave, you know me. We're supposed to have lunch. Either get security and throw me out, okay? Because I'm not going to leave here. I want you to be a hero. I know that people will like this. And I was submitted Harry Blackstone Jr., whose father was the top illusionist since Houdini.
Okay.
On that level. And I wore Dave down because I loved him. I would never hurt a buyer. And that was the first time there was ever, and the people went crazy.
Were there many illusionists around back in those
Nobody.
days?
That was the first time.
I don't remember if that's...
That was the first magician ever, illusion act with the tigers and a very nice guy, Harry Blackstone Jr., over in front of Tiny.
Fantastic.
So,
good story, Steve.
No, thank you. So you have been a magnificent guest, and I always welcome you back, as I was telling everybody before. We're going on KDWN, 50,000 watts, Fridays at midnight. And I'm going to remember, without even looking at anything, 920 on your radio. Is that correct? No, see? I got you. 720. Okay. You see? Now I got everybody laughing here. See, that's what it's all about. I know that the people here are laughing, all of you wonderful people at home and in your cars. Unless you're too busy reading the sign. 7:20 a.m., starting every Friday at midnight. We're looking forward to that. And our website, too. Angela Nelson, thank you for taking a Sunday. We heard you talk about your children. God keep them in good health. And how hard you work. I know this. And to take this time out shows what a pro you are and lets everybody know how good it is to be with you. And you are really an excellent guest, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you, and good luck on your new show. Hope you don't turn into a pumpkin at midnight.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to do something now, anything whatsoever. This was so enjoyable. This has just been great. My dear friends, listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. You know, one thing I don't do personally, although Will Jordan had a field day with the late and great, talented Ed Sullivan, because he would always start off his program. First it was called Toast of the Town, then it was called the Ed Sullivan Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. In our balcony, we have Girl Scout Troop 432. Girls, stand up and show American Canada your cookies. That was Ed Sullivan. Well, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. I think Rich Little was the great star mic here also, and I think he did Ed Sullivan. Ladies and gentlemen. And if you know, in my career here, I've been both a theatrical agent, producer, entrepreneur, and this is my passion, being on radio with you Sundays especially. We're going to get to that in a couple of minutes. But I will never refer to you as ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen. I refer to you as when I look at you, because right now it's such a personal relationship. Either we're in the same car, we're in the same room, house, bedroom, whatever. So to me, what you really are is we're like together on Sunday. And Sunday, when you think of it, is family day because the kids aren't going to school. People are off from work. Not everybody, especially here in their capital of the world, Las Vegas. They have 3 shifts, 7 days a week. Okay. But for the most part, Sunday is referred to as family day. And I never say, I never refer to you as ladies and gentlemen because I see you as my family. In fact, to attest this, I'm not George Strait, and I'm certainly not Marvin Gaye, but to attest this, may I get a witness? Okay, so you see, my close friends, we are family. We're family here with the great Susan Stevens, producer and wonderful voice with a great laugh on the microphone, and the wonderful Al Sandy, the most talented board op in radio world. Okay, and of course, I don't want to admit anybody, Gay Cow, and some man that some thinks some of the bits are funny. But we are family. And the reason I love coming together, what is this? That sounds like a song from Woodstock, Come Together, is because we were aired, well, on the internet. We are aired, golly, what the hell is crap? Golly, we're aired on the internet, on your computer, and you can just, what do they call it, download or streaming, whatever, on 970knuu.com. And you can hear the Steve Sheldon Show 24/7, but we come to you. The show is derived on Sunday. And I don't call you ladies and gentlemen, as we just got some witnesses. And I want to thank our chorus. To my chorus, I'm going to tell you what I look forward to, and I hope you share this with me also. I'm going to get a chorus of Al Sandy, who's a wonderful board op, our talented producer and on-air personality, Susan Stevens, and of course, we cannot omit Gay Cow. Will you like to be the chorus? No, I'm sincere. No, I can't do better. Stop laughing at me. I have enough complexes. God, I went to a football game. Football season's coming in now. 60,000 people in the bleachers. I went with a friend of mine. The team got into a huddle. I said, why are they talking about me? In all due respect, I should give credit where credit is due. My memory, thank God, is so good. Jackie Mason, a very talented man. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did this routine about 4,000 years ago, but it's still funny. So now, when I talk about love, and the reason being that we're on Sunday, is because I'm looking for love on a Sunday.
lonely road that leads to nowhere. I want a Sunday kind of love. Do my Sunday dreaming and all my Sunday scheming, every minute, every hour, every day. I'm hoping to discover a certain kind of lover. Oh, well, show me the way. I need someone to hold, to keep me warm when my knees are cold. I love all my life to having to hold. I want a Sunday kind of love.
All right. Wow. That's what we have here, my close friends. Listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. A Sunday Kind of Love. I want to thank the great chorus. And by the way, this song was originally recorded, the one you just heard now, by a group called the Harp Tones. That great lead singer is Willie Winfield. This song, my close friends, recorded so many years ago and made popular. Let me give credit where credit is due. There's one man that didn't care about color, didn't care about anything. He just cared about this new kind of music with a beat. His name was Alan Freed. He came from Cleveland. That's why they have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame still in Cleveland and give out awards today. Mel Lee's a great program director, brought him into 10-10 wins in New York City. The rest is history. They've made several movies about his life story, including American Hot Wax. In fact, Jay Leno had a great part, and so did Fran Drescher. So that's a Sunday Kind of Love. But let me tell you how the roots of rock and roll, which doo-wop is, not was, but still is, influenced one of the big contemporary, one of the biggest and biggest money-making contemporary rock singers in show business, in the music industry today. In fact, I'm not going to introduce her. To say how we go back, we're going far. How far back we're going? Far out, man, far out. Remember Far Out? Good days, man. In the 70s, yeah, $5. Now you can't get, you can't inhale for $5. But I'm clean now. I'm clean, Jack. That's right, man. This boy is clean. You mess around and send any police in here, Jack. This man is clean. Okay, this man is clean. That's right. Okay, it's not that funny. Now, so what I was saying is you want to hear about inspiration. We just heard Sunday Kind of Love on this Sunday. Here is something taken off. Well, I'm going to let you listen to how this inspired one of the biggest female rock stars in the history of music.
A rising star. Her name is Christine Aguilera on The Wake Up Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Christina.
Kind of love, a love to last past Saturday nights, and I'd like to know it's more than love at first sight. Well, I want a Sunday kind of love. Need someone to involve to keep me warm when Mondays and Tuesdays roll cold. I need love for all my life to have and to hold. Well, I want a Sunday kind of love. Hey. Baby, well, I want a Sunday kind
How about that, my dear, sweet, loving friends listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon? Is that great? This is good. Good program today, and I'm glad you're here on this Sunday Kind of Love Day to share it. And again, if it wasn't for the great Alan Freed, may he rest in peace, this never would be here. I mean, nobody would think when he was playing, and only certain, we had Pat Boone covering Little Richard. We had the McGuire's sisters covering The Moonglows. Harvey Fuqua is still working, and Marvin Gaye was a Moonglow. And, he's one of the few people that were able to, because a lot of stations would not play what they called, quote, race music. But look how far we've come. Thank God. So I dedicate that to your enjoyment and to the late and great disc jockey that named, created, and popularized rock and roll, Alan Freed. This is yours truly, Steve Sheldon, loving being here on a Sunday with you. Yes, and I must say, my close friends, that we had such a terrific guest. This lady, Angela Nelson, she's terrific. And, I'm learning now, the last time we had a guest that good was our favorite cruise and all-inclusive vacation specialist, Janice Rounds. She was here a few weeks ago. And it's very, very interesting. With the show is mainly about showbiz. I find somebody, like we just heard now, Angela Nelson was terrific from Outdoor Advertising. And we had Janice Rounds, and she got such great response. We add her more than once. The first time was a full interview, then the second, and we'll probably be doing that with Angela Nelson. And talking about Janice, I would like to say that for all your vacation requirements and needs, there's just one person to go to. Only one, not two, just one. Janice Rounds, your cruise and vacation specialist. Her number is 702-596-4567. That is 702-596-4567. And Janice will get you the best, I don't like to use the word deals or bargains, but I would say value. And anywhere that you would like to go, be it on land or on sea. And Janice is always coming up with new, great offers, be it a cruise, be it an all-inclusive hotel, and she gives you the main thing that is so very, very important, my close friends. Capital SERVICE, service. Janice Rounds gives you service. And now, even now, we got something from Janice Rounds, your cruise consultant. The world is on sale. Don't miss out. I mean, she covers the world. And she gives the values like you can't believe, even up to, I think it's $1,200. Yes, up to $1,200 on credit on a cruise ship. Okay? There are certain offers which include free airfares from many, many cities. Janice can save you up to, say, close to $600 U.S. dollars in prepaid gratuities, and up to $2,000 in additional savings and more. So really, you've got to get in touch. It's just everything. I can't just say with one cruise because there's so many, but Janice Rounds is on top of each and every one of them, both as a passenger and an inspectress, because when the cruises first come in, they're probably shipped from Oslo or somewhere. And what happens is they allow, just special travel agents. I can't say travel agents. That wouldn't be fair. Janice Rounds is special. So she will be invited on board to take a mini cruise and a whole inspection because she's a respected and great travel consultant. If you say they allow travel agents on, that would be encompassing of 10,000. They couldn't fit on the ship. But Janice is always invited and usually always goes, wherever it is. So she can be great for you. And she treasures her clients to the nth degree. There's a great repeat business. And I'm seeing here, even when you call Janice Rounds, for a limited time offer, there's free prepaid gratuities for bookings made by December 31st. Okay? And she's into so many things, and the name of Janice's company is Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. What great buying power! Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. And Janice Rounds is an accredited cruise counselor and vacation specialist. And she's got this one promotion. Well, she got many promotions, but, free gratuities booked by a certain date. The main thing you do is, she was such a great guest. We played her. We got great response from you, which I'm very happy about. But the key, of course, with Janice is to know that don't go to a computer. I mean, Janice is computer savvy. But the whole thing about all this is personal touch. And that is so very, very important. And Janice does provide that very, very effectively. And for all the cruises going anywhere in the U.S., worldwide, Janice will have an answer promptly and give you the best value and perks and extras that only she can. And you can reach Janice Rounds, again, at 702-596-4567, 702-596-4567. And what a great guest, and how much we learned about Janice knows all these things and what to tell you. Should you get insurance? Shouldn't you? If you live here in the third capital of the world, Las Vegas and Henderson, Nevada, should you take a flight? Should you fly it? And Janice will arrange flights, even though these damn airlines don't even pay commission. She's that much of a service person. And she comes up with things that are very, very interesting. Like, well, even to think about the weight, if people want to buy duty-free alcohol on board, she'll mention the weight if you're flying. I mean, that's how decent and honest and complete that a travel consultant, Janice Rounds, is for you. And again, the number for Janice Rounds is 596-4567. Also about a very interesting thing, facts about the security on board. Also about that there's no money being spent unless you go to the casino. Everything is just signed. The tips, everything. What a great guest she was, just as Angela Nelson was today. So for all your cruise needs, there's so many great values now. I mean, it's and she can just give Janice a call, and there's just so many wonderful things. And she will always keep you on a mailing list with your consent and keep you up with the specials. And she's always there to help you get the best value on the vacation of your choice. And if you don't know what your choice is, feel free to ask Janice Rounds, because she'll give you so many selections and work with you. She will customize your vacation to your needs, desires, and pocketbook. So that's why it's a pleasure to be talking about the wonderful cruise consultant Janice Rounds. Again, my close friends, the number is 702-596-4567, 702-596-4567. That's Janice Rounds, Expedia Cruise Ship Centers, which has tremendous buying power. And again, Janice Rounds is the one to call, the only one to call for all of your travel needs at 702-596-4567. And again, I am thrilled to announce that starting in November, midnight, each and every Friday, we are going to be heard live. We can call in on 7:20 a.m. 7:20 a.m., write this down, take a note of it, give yourself a memo if you'd like. 7:20 a.m. Fridays at midnight. And we're really looking forward to that. We like where we are now, but where we are now is just very temporary because the station's been sold. But one thing about 7:20, you can have friends up and down the entire West Coast. They can hear it as we're on. And, of course, you'll be able to hear it, plus all the shows that we've done in the last half year with some major stars and great interviews like we had today with Angela Nelson, as we had recently with the wonderful travel consultant Janice Rounds. Go on to our website. It's just about complete, SteveSheldonShow.com, SteveSheldonShow.com. And you can hear all these shows archived. 7:20 a.m. 7:20 a.m. starting the first Friday at midnight, 7:20 a.m. Now, boy, I enjoyed the interview today, and the weather really changed. I can't read with the glare. Sorry. People put things in front of me with a glare, and okay. To tell me the amount of time I have enough time now to shower and shave. I thought it was an emergency for a second. But I thank you very much. We have the best producer in the world, Susan Stevens, who will tell everybody, how are you today, Susan?
Very well.
How did you like the interview with Angela Nelson?
I thought it was wonderful.
Yes, and that advertising, really, I mean, that's really terrific.
Yes.
I mean, it's helped us. We have a lot of people that do listen to this program because of outdoor advertising, as well as the Las Vegas Israelite. We started with the Las Vegas Israelite with a nice ad back in April. And I'm proud and happy to say that we're still affiliated. I love the Las Vegas Israelite, and you shall too. Why? Because it's for everybody. I learned about places like the San Gennaro Feast that as I was talking about before with Angela Nelson. You're watching Netflix, like she was talking about her children, God love them. You don't see any commercials or ads, okay? But the Israelite comes out, and you keep that because the Israelite's important. Why? Yeah, of course, the coupons and all these great restaurants, from pizza to Portuguese, accountants, doctors, all the people that advertise, they have such great things to read. I love every single edition. They're in business now 48 years, the Las Vegas Israelite, under the very capable Tell family, now led by Michael Tell. They have Henny Youngman, who a lot of you have seen in Goodfellas when he was playing at the Copa. And they have he's the king of the one-liners, and they always give you a nice one-liner, which makes you laugh. That's just part of the great reason that I endorse the Las Vegas Israelite in their 48th year, which is good to say because it's true. The editorials are great. And the thing I really love, and this is really true, you'll ask most people, what's the most important thing in life? Same answer, your health. And the Las Vegas Israelite comes up with the latest from the top recognized clinic and respected clinic worldwide, the Mayo Clinic. And it could be from blood pressure to anything, and that's what you read in the Las Vegas Israelite. So I'm delighted to recommend the Las Vegas Israelite. They've done great for us. They'll do great for you. It's great reading. It's in their 48th year. And unlike certain papers, you don't have that thin, let's say, I don't want to say cheap, so I won't. I think I already did. But a cost-effective, things that can give you like a little mark in your fingers when you turn the pages. They have great, colorful, wonderful paper and print. And again, I love it. It's such a gamut of information. And I love the sponsors. I love the name here, Classic Kids Children Uniform Attire. Okay, here's one for kids, right? Gymboree, spelled G-Y-M. They're just looking for this. You want to sell some gold? They advertising for gold. Now the seasons change. There are actually 3 seasons here in the third capital of the world: summer, winter, and windy. God, third capital of the world, Las Vegas. Okay, but now Atomic Air they have advertised residential, commercial, cooling, and heating. And there's Henny's. I don't want to give it out. One-liner, the king of the one-liners. That's each and every week. A great coupon for a wonderful pizzeria on the west side. I remember that. Attorneys, Philharmonic Orchestra, Smith Center, which is great. We saw Steve Solomon in a wonderful show there. My father's Jewish, my mother's Italian, and I'm in therapy. And it's just learning centers, grooming dales for your pets, just anything you want. It's great reading. The Las Vegas Israelite. Terrific. Oh, is this exciting today? This is such an exciting day. A great interview with the head of Outdoor Promotions, Angela Nelson. We heard it's Howdy Doody time, the first time we've heard that in many years. And we are excited. Oh, right now, if you'd like to reach the website, it is Steve Sheldon at webtv.net. Steve Sheldon at webtv.net. And you may want to just get us your email, because we're constructing a site, stevesheldonshow.com, that you can hear all of the shows we've done and all the shows that we shall be doing here for another few weeks, and then in the beginning of November on 7:20 a.m. at midnight. And I hope that I'm as blessed to have a board operator with when we get there, with half the capabilities and qualities of Al and Andy, the two A's, not AA, because they can make or break a show, and thanks to both Al and Andy, I hope I find somebody half as good as him. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yes.
That's Susan. She's talking. I thought she was making an omelet, but she's talking. Okay, and if you'd like to reach me right now, because I'm going to be giving out a lot of content. We're going to be entering you into a cruise contest, thanks to Janice Rounds. The number to call me right now, or anytime, is 702-685-9873. That is 702-685-9873. We're talking about Henderson before, with all these places. And I must tell you, another great publication is the Henderson Press. They're a weekly publication. And if you live in Henderson or you frequent Henderson, it's solely Henderson, what they're writing about. Be it the times of a movie theater, be it great coupons for a place I love called Johnny Mac's. Oh, the wings and pizza, yum, yum, yummy. And the Henderson Press is, the best prices on gasoline, which is important. And everything that's happening in and around Henderson, you will see at the Henderson Press by reading the Henderson Press. And it's a wonderful, wonderful publication that we thank. And now I get back to the Las Vegas Israelite. I can't say enough about them. They were with us from the first, just like Outdoor Promotions. And those two we know about more than anyone because they started with us, and we're still together. Look forward to being together for a long, long time, God willing, because you know yourself, most of you listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon, that you probably both. You may have read it in the Israelite. I'm sure you've seen it at all the bus stops and on the Strip, which is Las Vegas Boulevard, from Outdoor Promotions. Terrific job. We get so much feedback. We get feedback from everyone, but the top two, I would say, would be the Las Vegas Israelite and Outdoor Promotions, with all the bus signs and the signs and the bus stops, and the Israelite, of course. And now we're starting again, as I mentioned, we've started doing a column for the Vegas Voice. And it was very interesting. We were in two places, and people liked the column. And I thank all of you. And we had somebody, one of many people call last week, and they wanted me to play a song by Jose Feliciano. But I can't do that because of in entirety, because of the regulations that we would have to, the station's not equipped for that, we would have to pay either ASCAP or BMI. That's the two great organizations to protect the earnings. See, every time a song is played, every time a song is played in the entirety, you have to send them royalties. And I don't believe the station subscribes to that. So to the nice people that called, well, this one night, all of you, so many calls, thank you again. I can't do a whole song, but I wish I could. But I thank you for the call. I thank you for the nice wishes, and I think you have a great voice. So now, right now, if you're listening, you can go on computer You can go on all smartphones, including iPhones, Blackberries, Blueberries, Strawberries, Chuckberries, any of the berries, and Droid phones. Get on to our newest website. We can hear all of our programming, and we're going to be doing some not X-rated but adult that you will love as well. And you may do so by, remember this is very important, my close friends, Steve Sheldon Show, not the Steve Sheldon Show, but SteveSheldonShow.com. And I would like to thank Andy, not the person I just referred to, but Susan, Stephen's brother, for being such a very big help helping us set up the website. And I hope he hears this because I really do appreciate your nice brother's help. And I hope you tell him to hear this because it's coming from the bottom of my heart. Hard-working man, family man, and takes time out to help build a website. And he's a genius at it. And, okay, so I don't want you to think this is the end of being here because we're going to be here for another few Sundays. And just keep listening every Sunday. And then you check us out the first Friday of the month of November when we start on the 50,000 watts radio station that's heard for hundreds and hundreds of miles, state from state, not only in the state of Nevada, but I believe Arizona. I know you see here in California, Seattle. It's going to be great at 7:20 a.m. on Friday, starting the first Friday in November at midnight. And we're going to have a lot of guests then because here, as you know, you're listening on a Sunday. If you're listening to it live, I don't want to impose upon a guest that worked so hard last night. Like Tony Orlando's coming into town, to South Point. He's a terrific talent. He'll be the 19th and through the 21st of the month of October. Ooh, this time has gone by. It's so nice to have a great guest. I mentioned Janice Rounds from a few weeks ago. You're a travel consultant extraordinaire. And today, I am so thrilled that to take time out to come over and grace our microphones. Angela Nelson from Outdoor Promotions was absolutely fantastic. And Angela, the number for Angela Nelson's Outdoor Productions is 702-932. I want to get it right. 4848. That's 702-932-4848. Again, please remember to call us right now. We're here waiting for your call. And until next Sunday, I'm going to say this has been terrific. I thank everybody here in this station. And you can reach us right now, my dear friends. We're going to be by the phones for another 2 hours after airtime. Thank you. At 702-685-9873, 685-9873. 702-685-9873. I'm waiting for your call. Incredible! My dear friends, listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. Wow, the way time goes by, the program's just about to come to an end. However, I come in here with no script, just some names spelled phonetically, and from Dairy Queen, Gay Cow, and the Laugher, and whatever. But you know what? I have some papers here, and I read off some papers. Also, not much, so I'm going to get my props, pack up, and get ready to go.
I'm packing up. Ready, packing up. I'm on anyhow. Packing up. Well, I'm just packing up, getting ready to go. Just packing up, getting ready to go. Just packing up, getting ready to go. Just packing up, getting ready to go.
Wow, I can't believe it. No script. Another hour went by like it was 5 minutes, thanks to the wonderful people that listen and call and participate, and a terrific engineer. And gee, it's such a feeling of accomplishment. I'm really blessed to be doing what I love.